Hello, Blender folks. Welcome and welcome back to this Gnomes. Yesterday I had a problem with my connection. It was lost in the middle, so I've lost the recording in the end. But this is what I've achieved in the end. So you see what we have here: the body, face, body, one of the costume sets, the space agent. So front view, side view. Okay, not this, and orthographic, also top view. The top view currently I'm just using for finding the best approximation for this circle here, and this well, the head, right, the skull, the forehead, and then the muzzle shape for this character, the lower, and the cheek, and this sharp thing, which the cheekbone for this character is somewhere about here. So this is the things, and also for the arms, it's sometimes important to find these things for the hands and all that. So yeah, I could have the shoulder, but it's very hard in 3D to figure out how to make this analysis. I think I found, maybe just got this idea. Let's say in orthographic, not sure this will work. Yeah, see, this only works for the, this doesn't seem to work on orthographic, so we can't really manipulate. I can't see through here. It will be very hard to, yeah, we could maybe go on. You could mask, right? But then you have to make a mask modifier. But yeah, maybe let's try this. So it would need to be worked on. Not every time, but yeah, it's very tedious, right? You have to try to yeah, so for example, let's say that I would like to just see maybe the jawline, right? So I believe the jawline is this thing. So yeah, it is this thing. So possibly we could perhaps try to hide some stuff here. I never tried to do this because it sounded a bit tricky, and it's not absolutely necessary, but it will be important to have maybe a bottom view, you see. But then you have the feet, Control 7, right? Then you have to hide everything here. Oh yeah, maybe this is not okay. So maybe you can do something like this, right? Hide all the mesh here from the front view, something like that. And now if I go to bottom view, so here I have something that yeah, so I can inspect. So I could stroke a jawline here, assuming that this is really the jawline. Yes, it is. So you could try to map this, right? And then just to see, oh, it is there, right? Should it be there? So that there are some fair questionings, right? Should it be like that? Maybe it has a bad curvature, right? In relation to the rest. But the curvature might not be the same because the jawline needs to do something like going down here. Yeah, actually, maybe it's not this. It's actually here. Then it, yeah, it might have some, yeah, probably is. There's some abstraction here needed, but essentially, yeah. So we achieved this one, and the model sheet was corrected, right? Gonna hide this another time. From here you can see that there are some imperfections even with the subdivision. Yeah, so this is very spiky. This is absolutely wrong. So we want something more curvy there for the forehead. So this we can easily change with the proportional editing. And at this point, we could even consider using the also some sort of yeah, this on an edit mode, right? On cage edit mode. So you could, no, not this, sorry. I mean the subdivision. So that you can see where the curvature will end up to be, right? So this is a bit dangerous right now. It will, okay, let's Control Alt Q here. Let's return here. Because this will disrupt the positioning. I'll have to re-snap some of the, right? Well, maybe not. Hold on. If I just, we can prevent that. Yeah, if I hide this mesh here. Yeah, let's hide this mesh too, the eyelashes. And let's hide this face loop as well from the vertex. Okay, so now no risk of displacing this. Let's just make sure we get a proper where is the size of this thing? Yeah, it was very large, so okay, let's cancel. What is this? This for grease pen, so we're not using anymore. Let's collapse here, join right. There we go. So want another. Oh, sorry folks, forgot about the audio. Now it's better. All right, so let's go back here. So I want to be looking at what's happening here, right? But we'll try to move from here. Yeah, this is stacking here on this region because yeah, I'm lacking some geometry apparently here, but it is doable. This I need for the some sort of frowning of the the center of the forehead, right? This area. This is why there's a more subdivision here. But we could even do more if I'm still here. Depend on the deforms. I need to see if that's sufficient. I hope that is sufficient, but there's a an average chance that there's a good chance that this is not sufficient to have the expression that I want. So here you can, yeah, see, don't want this pointy thing here. More rounded this part. Push this forward. Same here. Here also, let's make the skull a bit more adaptive for this side here. What is this? Okay, this maybe this is exaggerated. So as this, but this will, yeah, no, let's place this here. So the temples are here, okay. Where is this? Yeah, so we see the buttocks from here. Okay, so I have good news here, folks, in terms of my world building, in case it interests. I've made up my mind about that approach of the grayscale, gray stones, black and white aesthetics. It's pretty cool, but maybe I'll use it for another project, something else, because the fact is that I already achieved very good compositing results with very colorful things and very pleasant results. So why? And I've already started to do 3D webcomics with that. And to be fair, this is already tested and successful. While this black and white aesthetics, I like it very much, but I'm not in the conditions to spend too much time remaking stuff like material, so it will be for maybe another time, another project, and yeah, something. I'll still think about it. Maybe some 3D artwork illustration. I'm not sure, but reorganizing the whole scenes with lighting, with compositing, with materials, just to validate that other aesthetics on top of project that already had some usable solutions that was very colorful, as I mentioned. It is the dual compositing thing with EV and Workbench. Yeah, so very good stuff. Bad real-time visualization. Actually, not only bad, impossible to be done in Blender, actually. Just shows one render viewport, one scene rendering every time. So it doesn't allow this dual compositing to work in real time. It's not supported yet, this thing. It doesn't support if you have multiple scenes in the same compositor. At least the way I was doing. So maybe one day they'll improve that. That will be great. But currently, so this was one of the little downsides of that approach. But otherwise, the results were very fast and quite beautiful. And so the change that I'll be doing for the webcomics thing would be that I will be going back to that aesthetics, but I will sort of not do. There still be audiovisual in the sense maybe of camera motion, but I won't be animating, I think, anything else, because that takes too much time. And the notion of this 3D webcomics for me is to do fast, like if it's drawing. Just sketching out, and so spontaneous stuff. So it's just about getting the assets, the shots, a bit of rework for a bit of work for the pen and stuff like that, easy camera stuff, but on frames, occasionally maybe in the 3D, but this is I still have to think about that, because that will be again that will need animation rendering, the animation of the camera, right, in the 3D space. So this is time consuming. And then for animation content, real animation content, then for that I can make additional projects, right? So yes, so dumping the black and white grayscale compositing for now. We'll just archiving that. And then we'll recover the colorful things, which all my scenery are already half worked or totally working on that direction, right? And so it will be much better. Besides the fact that it's beautiful and colorful, it might be more inspiring for me, also for everyone reading the webcomics and all that. So I think it will be a good trade-off at this point. I don't know why it took me so long to not so long, but I had to decide to give up on that idea. Changes, right? Or adaptations, right? Don't know why. But good stuff. I think this will be for the good. I think I was overly inspired by what I was seeing from other artists, just in Blender, right? What they could do, and it's just a technical mesmerizing, right? And bad side of trying to learn stuff and to everything, and trying to experiment too much or copy too much, right? While you can have sometimes your own stuff that is already working. Maybe it's not perfect, maybe it's not doesn't offer the best stuff, but it is there, right, to be used in the best case. What is this thing? Okay, this is the skull. Okay, so rounding this up. All right, but nobody will see the back of the head of this creature, the alien character, Dorothy. Okay, so the space gnome, space gnome. And so here we got the eyes, the mouth, the hair, and that's the costume, the urban. Yeah, so this is not the one in the model sheet. The one in the model sheet is a space agent. Very broken, right? We need to retake some stuff. And all right, so for this is a skin with some masking for the precisely this one. You see that this is wrong already. We need to adjust because I was manipulating the mesh so much. Maybe I'll have to raise the arms a little. Let's see here something about the model sheet, because here, oh yeah, let's see what we get here. So yes, so I have a sketch thing here. I don't know what, this is a good moment to make a fresh sketch like this one, but a new one, a new version here. Let's make a sketch 02. Yeah, let's leave it on top, it's more recent. Yeah, I don't need to, yeah, maybe it's good to keep this. I'm just gonna move it to well, oh yeah, I can't edit it. Apparently we need to, there we go. Gotta move it to the side here so that we can make space for, so see I'm drawing here. Okay, there's nothing here, and here we have content. Oh yeah, I was in the wrong one. Okay, so nothing to select here. It's an empty one. We're gonna use a sketch stroke. I think I was using the same material. So here we're gonna be swapping these tabs here. It's okay. You're gonna use this one. Shift T, the new shelf. Oh, where it is? It's not Shift T. Oh yeah, I need to be on the... Indeed. I needed to be on the draw mode apparently. Okay, so... Not sure this is the... Yeah, it's the organic pencil. That it's a custom one. It's very similar to this one actually. It's just with a different few settings. I like to use this squared, this flat caps type. I like to... Maybe this smoothing is a bit too much, but that's okay. I like to use simplify. It will reduce the amount of points that are generated. Here I'm not sure. Stabilizing, maybe this is too much for stabilization. So you can just hold shift. Yeah, this is much smoother. But I don't like to use stabilizer too much, especially not on sketching. It's more for cleanup in my... Or sometimes you're trying to make some shape that is very hard, then you do that. Alright, so we're gonna start with warming up, right? Yeah, I'll draw exactly here. I need to map some of the... Okay, we have too much stuff here. It'll be good to look at the... Let's hide this mesh here. And of course, we don't want this this thing here. Okay. The costumes we also don't want. We're on the front. And this, yeah, just the front here. No, not the front for the body. There we go. So some mapping reference. Oh yeah, there's something about the grid, right? A good point to... I want to sketch, but no, let's figure out how to get this grid. There's a way to convert, but the conversion is horrible. So instead, let's do some basic stuff here. We could use a box. Can I snap this to... Is there a technical pen here? Alt S, no. How do you... Scale, no. Control S, no. So I always forget, it's tricky. So I validate, then it to select and L. Alt S, right? Okay, so we got something. Oh, it's the radius. Yeah, sorry. Draw mode, then you have the radius here. There we go. Yeah, this could work. This one, however, gonna use another material for this. We could use the... Yeah, we could use a special color because we don't want any interference here. Let's get grid. It's like we could have many of these, right? So, going back, you say it's complicated, but it's useful. So let's say, can I snap this? Now this is the question. Snapping. I don't see the snapping options here. Interesting, so there's no snapping to... Okay, this is unfortunate, so we're gonna do something like... So it's okay to draw this stuff like this because we can, in front, you can diagonalize them on edit mode. Then they'll cover multiple purples. So I'm gonna do the first ones. We're gonna scale them up. Looks like that I'm not doing the right in the right layer, right? So I'm gonna just delete this thing for now. We're gonna change this layer to name. Yeah, I'm gonna call it grid. Yeah. And select all. We're gonna Alt S and take off proportional editing. Apparently we can't scale them up. Scale. They seem to have been compromised. Maybe because the radius being that small, it cannot... Yeah, so they seem to have been compromised. So no problem. We're gonna just move them one step down. GY. Using the active element here. GY. No. No, it's GZ. GZ. I'm gonna place them exactly in the middle of the head, right? So it will be, and we don't need this one. So since these ones were compromised, we'll leave them like this. Probably ideally I should need another material for grid. But okay, we'll see how this ends up to be. So now we're gonna make the big ones. We need a, we need a larger radius. So let's make sure we do something that is this one seems to be, yeah, this one is already editable, so we can use it. Okay, so this is a good radius. Hold shift for this. And if we think that it is too much, then we can okay, so there's a little trouble here. Alt S like this. And fine. Then we're gonna make another. Could have more layers just for that, but this will be fine, right? Then we get a new material. We're gonna get this grid, and we're gonna make duplicate. Let's protect all these ones. Here, what color for this thing? Maybe some red, something, because I don't have it yet. Some pink or purple. Now let's leave, yeah, something like this. So gonna now I start to draw exactly this one with a radius of, let's say, 0.03. I don't know. Maybe that will work. I want this to be grease pencil, so there is not a grid grease pencil. I try to convert a basic grid mesh object into grease pencil. It creates some very disrupted grease pencil stuff, so it's not very accurate. It doesn't make straight lines, right? Unfortunately, so it's like, it will be good if there is some grease pencil grid maker. That would be awesome. Or I can just have, yeah, if you have a preset, then this could be this is actually a preset, right? So here, if there's a character that is very tall, then we can, there's more. Yeah, there's even more. Yeah, probably no one will reach here in my cast. Probably somewhere about here. 7.5 heads tall. Yeah. While the size of the skull, the circle base of the head, is my base guidance from old school techniques, right, of drawing. So this is like not necessarily the best one, but usually it's reliable. Seldom will I change the size of the skull of this circle structure for. So it's like all these girl characters have the same skull size. The jaw, however, the lower head, the cheeks, all these change, of course, some shapes, but usually the mass of the circle or the volume of the circle is really the same. Maybe for a bigger character, taller character, or very minute character, could have slightly different size for the head, but essentially that's it. So now we got this grid, and we could have even more detailments of grid, but this I would do on some sort of grid markers, which is an interesting thing. But we could make those markers directly in the, yeah, we can, yeah, because it's grease pencil. It's still the same layer. The problem is if you want to redraw, so those markers, at least make them cross the, right? Okay, so now what to do with this, let me get, you see this line exists here because I are trying to cross, I was trying to cross the, to find the reference of the chin here, the tip of the chin in relation to the front view. So this is a good mapping. Yeah, most likely a good. You see half of a small, I think this is 1 millimeter, 1 centimeter maybe. I'm not sure in terms of world space, but this character is about 1.5 meters tall, 150 centimeters. Oh yeah, so this is like 1 centimeter square. All right, so this is that marker, so probably can respect it. So let's, it seems to be accurate, but it doesn't need to be there. We're gonna reuse it, right? So these markers would like to add, maybe not in the default grid. I call this base grid because it doesn't have any markers for a particular character, so it will be easier to batch this thing, right? And you can reuse these layers, the material. So this entire grease pencil material is good for reusability, turns out to be. Okay, so I'm gonna make this sketch 2 now again. The sketch doesn't need to be it won't be a front view, right? It's part of the character design. We want some sketch material. We was using this one, yeah. So, oops, apparently Blender crash, folks, happens. Don't know what was that, what caused that. Reopening Blender. It's taking a while. Okay, where it is? Here it is. All right. Is that right? This, don't worry, it's linking errors. I don't even know why they are there. Have to revise at some point. Okay, let's see. Yes, it's good. Let's continue here with this grease pencil thing. It's not drawing anything. Oh, it's probably something locked. Yeah, I think I need to. This is wave paint mode. It's not Control Tab 8, not 7. Okay, then we get brush. Let's get this organic pencil save already, and here we don't want this large like this. We could try this thing maybe. No, that's not good. Okay, so let's draw the head from here. Yeah, so warm up. The chin will be, yeah, about here. So this thing is about here. Then this start to work differently. Looks like I tend to have the eye go a bit lower here by spontaneously drawing this. I'm using anything here that is making this thing looks weirder? Texture, custom material, no, nothing. Nothing. Just maybe this grid is too strong, right? Let's just reduce its opacity. Strangely, it's still visible. I think I was drawing in the... No, this is right. Drawing the right place. Good. Okay, let's clean some stuff here. Interesting, this behavior they've made, right? For, let's see. For the, when you start to erase it, it's a bit weird, but yeah, it's actually helpful. You see what you're, before you delete it. You see what what strokes you are erasing, right? So yeah, so I'm gonna try to draw without looking too much at the reference to see if I get any clue here from this spontaneous. Very important, right? To, at least for me, to the spontaneous developments to check, because this is how the character should be like, right? The best drawings I ever do, they are very spontaneous. Actually, this usually the only way I draw anyways. And yeah, it's very laggy compared to real real drawing, right? So on paper, so it's, I didn't warm up very well, right? So very hard to draw here. And this is where I usually get my character design to get a bit weird. My own character design tend to exaggerate the sheen, apparently. And then when it comes to, even when it's not a model sheet drawing, this could be considered a model sheet drawing. And then when it comes to bending, of course, when I draw the bending, there's no problem. But if I were to calculate what's happening, then, as I've shown before, then the leg, the feet, the base of the foot will reach far above the buttocks, and this is very weird in the, at least, yeah, in the 3D model. So I need to compensate and do some fixes, right? So possibly here what's happening is that I'm, let's redo here. I'm not satisfied with the torso. I like this bright, very bright color here. For it's like I'm drawing with in a black board, right? With how do you call those? Teachers, old school teachers and conventional school, right? Also, my background is custom color, right? Very nice. Let's try not to do an... Okay, so there's a small chance that I need a little more height for the sheen, although I've seen already that cause problems for the... Or maybe I need to leverage... I feel like... Maybe the hips could be a little less, right? And so this will be a bit new, like let's do the anime crazy stuff, right? But this also could cause trouble, right? So by levering, so this is an interesting strategy to this fixing. So if I have the, we can try to map the the knee, right, the start and the end and the middle, right, to see where that goes. You see I have slight different results, important results, right, in many places. The crotch here, by leveraging the crotch, we can extend the legs like as I seems to be doing, and by doing this extension, this stretching of the leg as a whole, right, to maintain proportions, then when this bends, you can already assess here. Okay, here this grease pencil. Let's stop using this crap technique. Let's use the. This is also not too easy, but how am I gonna manage this? I don't know. Without. Okay, great. Here. Shift Alt. There. You see that the line, or let's use the whole. Okay, this is a good position for. Doesn't seem that a little less even. This seems very good. All right, so I could also. We could do, yeah, actually, let's but let's use the line, the stroke here. Okay, and validate. No panic, edit mode. Select this, L, Alt S, and something like this. And also, let's, since we are here, let's just use this, this one, arbitrarily. And so what we have here is that we have mapped this thing in this character design. Looks pretty nice, right? You see, I was very far from the goods here of the of a more interesting character design. This distance seems little, but it's like one, yeah, you could say here, right? So 1, 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters. It's actually 2 centimeters of difference, and that is a lot. So this is the character design for model sheet of style, very precise styles that you need to have like that is unforgiven, as you can see. I really am not very passionate about this model sheet, right? It's garbage. It works, but it's this is a drawing, folks. This is just some mapping technical stuff, right? Here, let's spot the differences. Yes, you see, as the torso here gets stretched, the legs, to compensate for the torso, will also have to stretch, and maybe a bit too much, right? So drawing this happens, of course, because I'm drawing on computer. Otherwise, I'll probably never do this, seldom do this mistake on paper. So it's also on drawing computer, depending on the screen resolution, you can't see what you're drawing. So I'm drawing here, I cannot see what's going down there. So I can use the organic, natural skills of drawing, like you're looking everywhere all the time for proportion. So this crap happens. So needs better technologies for this kind of thing. But you see, with some patience, we can achieve some good results. And the problem, I don't have a scanner. The best thing to do, or one very cool experience for matching this that I have, was to find this very, very large, not need to be super large, but you know, the grid paper that, but this very detailed to the millimeter. So you have a grid like Blender's grid, like you have the big square, then you have medium square and the minimal millimetric square. So you have like, I finished the whole block. Unfortunately, there are A3 sized pages. I don't know how this is called in English, but I know as A3 pages format. I think that's the golden ratio for it's something like Euler numbers, right? It has the similar thing that if you find that pattern, numerical pattern, proportion, then you start to subdivide, and it always gets the perfect, the exact thing, right? It's kind of magic numbers, right? Who knows why this happens? Why this happens? Yeah, why there is stuff like that. Anyways, we got here some. I don't need to go further in the details of this, but what I'm more, although it will be important, because then you see there's a chance that we'll have to revise the proportions here. Yeah, totally, because we will have to reposition the breast height and because we changed radically, this is radically the height of the torso already, of the crotch positioning. Now I think I get a good mapping. So because now I can have, as you see, longer legs. And still, yeah, more or less here. I think this is questionable still, but we got this organization. Okay, no, not this tool. We're gonna get the brush and go back to this one. Yeah, wait, this is wrongly drawn. Let's use this grid or grid, this grid. Yeah, okay, and then let's invert this just to make sure that this is actually a costume. Maybe it wasn't. Okay. All right. Also, I'm not satisfied with this, so let's Alt S here. Let's do something like this. Fine. There we go. Again, vertex wave. No. Oh, I can change the material. Ah, this is great. I can I add new materials from here? No, but I can, apparently not, but I can pick and reorganize them. That's great. Okay. The navel, I think I can track it to about here. Oh, very displaced indeed, according in relation to the others. This height of the won't change too much. This is fine. Okay, so nothing too much to be doing here. Yeah, so here we won't use these arms for reference, so it doesn't matter. We can do a circle also for seeing where this reach, right? Same idea, but maybe this is a bit too much, right? This shouldn't reach the... Need to be careful about this. Let's see, let's make a test here. Let's take the pivot here. No, maybe here. No, this is good. Let's get inside the circle colors. Yeah, I see it. No, it doesn't even touch here. So unfortunately, we don't have the straight arm here, and even if it was, her torso is tilted a little, so it wouldn't be very accurate. But I want to find now these matchings here. The navel, the breast, this part here of the... very dangerous. I've just played the timeline. Let's return here. Or either start drawing and creating keyframe here, I guess, which is very bad. Strangely, it wasn't occurring. Anyways. Let's just see it here all the time. Okay, so here we're gonna try to see what we can do about the knee. You see, the knee is very elongated, the whole shape, right? So apparently something about here, right? I have some mappings there that I mapped this to 1 to 6, right? 6 centimeters, 6 small squares. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we see that this doesn't seem to be correspondent to the way I've drawn this shape here, but this is probably because I drew it very badly. So it will be about here, right? So this is where the ankle pivots, the deform, right, essentially. Because the ankle is actually a bit lower. So I don't need to exactly map it here. They are also in different sides, in different... This will go front, but the base of the foot is still here. This one is a bit more elevated. Like in the middle, above the middle of the fourth square. Something like 1, 2, 3, 4 above the middle, so it will be like... Yeah, right. And the other will be like a little above, below, right? So it's like, yeah, they are very close, so it's stylized, it's okay. Interesting. So this is how interesting figuring out, right? The center of the knee would be somewhere like... It's almost matching, right? So the knee went up because the crotch went up, the torso went up, or the torso was a bit squashed, Yeah, we didn't change the position of the shoulders. And then just structural line here, but it doesn't matter. This line here could be a bit confusing, so I'm gonna try to make this a bit sharper here. Yeah, we could say that the top of the knee could be somewhere about here, right? It's hard to say exactly where, right? So could say exactly in the middle here. And in this case, we could say also, to simplify, no. Does it need to be higher or lower? Feels like higher. Yeah, so we're gonna, in this drawing, so we're gonna get here. And here we're gonna maintain this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's say we want some symmetry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so exactly in the center here. This line will be super important. This one also, it's usually a yeah, I believe here yeah, like here. It's not just a point in space, it has some volume, so somewhere like here seems to be, it's a bit blurry, but it's about that. And here usually I had mapped this very well, but every time the torso changes we'll need to of course try to see if everything is correct, and maybe here we'll have some issues if we don't revise this condition here. Yeah, so I believe here we should be having about this might be a bit too low. Too much strokes, right? So here. And then the nipples. This also is very important. I think should be about here. Okay, this seems... This one is a bit blurry. Yeah, I could say exactly on that line maybe. This we can compare later on. And this we can we can ignore these details here. It will be too much to consider right now in this sketch. So I think here for the nipples would be not here, but maybe about here. Something like here, right? And yeah, that should do. Then here I'm not gonna care because I think this won't be changed too much. And here, of course, we can try to match. So this will be a problem for, I need to catch those, the eye positioning again. The nose is very difficult. The mouth is, but yeah, we're gonna make some rechecks hit there. Essentially, I believe this sketch is very pleasing and successful. A model sheet sketch indeed, so it's a drawing by the grid, but not an orthographic view. Can be a slightly orthographic view because regular thing. Okay. Orthographic, but not totally front or side or something like that. And I usually don't do a back view because there's little to... If the front view is good enough, then usually I know how to fix the head. Also, it's not the skull from the back, the jaw. There's nothing too much interesting in the back to be... That is not too easy to model, but it's good to have also. I should have actually, but too late now. Whatever I can do, maybe just to remember something like for the costume it could be useful. Yeah, this is empty, but it's okay. Now let's see if we can make these adaptations properly. For these adaptations, I'm not gonna draw in the same. I'm gonna create a new layer to be drawing on top. Okay, not here. Okay, now how we handle this base grid then? That's very simple. We go here and we're gonna move them here. Maybe scale like this. Why not? Let's see what happens. Scale along the X. Okay, let's do this. And then we can go on top view, rotate 90, no, rotate 45. And so now whether we're looking here or here, it doesn't matter. As long as we are not doing something crazy like drawing on snapping, right? And on surface, that should be good. We want to be drawing on 3D stuff. As awkward this is, it's a batch grid, right? Works from both front and side. What we might not be able to batch though is these numbers here, so we can have like let's see, let's use another thing here, like head, right? Counting. Apparently this doesn't show on the... Maybe we can cheat the system here. Yeah, we can cheat. So the way I did that is that orthographic view, front view, orthographic numpad 4. So 1, I don't count, the front view is 1. Then I press numpad 6, sorry, rotate in that direction here. So that will be second step, third step, fourth step. This is exactly the middle. Then we're gonna make a very squashed number. And then now whether I go 1 or 3, it still works. Very crazy. And yeah, if we feel like it's too far away, okay, but now of course I have a problem, because if I want to edit this grid, I'll probably have to edit it from a certain... Yeah, so this is not, yeah, foolproof. It's all always come with caveats, right? But yeah, we can probably bring this closer here. Oops, I knew that could happen. Okay, bad counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Nope. What's going on? Okay, GG, no. GX, GY, no. Maybe normal, G, no. Right, so what's view? Okay, maybe like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I need to have the view thing there. And that view, of course, that I used was orthographic. Okay, saving here. We're gonna draw on top because I want to be able to compare then. So we're gonna bring this. Yeah, still using this body front, but we're gonna be looking at this layer with a lower. And for some reason, no, this is this one, right? Oh yeah, it was already very, very low, right? We're gonna get this even closer to spot more details. I could have, yeah, if it was not too messy, we could have gotten some reference for this, but I think this is fine, yeah. The only thing that I believe that might be wrong here are some features of the eye here. Could be that the tip of the nose is too high here. This was matched to the character model sheet, the 3D character, so which is the final version. So probably this is the impossible, the wrong. So like this works best for the face. So, but there could be that we could make some small propositions adjustments here. So maybe like this a bit lower. Sharper, yeah, the characters will be sharper. This seems to be fine. And here is the, oh yeah, because actually in this one everything went a bit lower except for the mouth. So here is push up the, okay, so maybe this is explained why, because this is too squashed, and the problem is that this will cause some difficulties in the muzzle. Unless I am able to squash the entire muzzle, that could be better for character design. So this is the secondary proposition for the face. So maybe this, now I think maybe I'll be able to fix this, to improve that. Imagine if that could make the character, the 3D style even more accurate. That could be very interesting, right? So this is why bringing down this tip here, we're not gonna expand it, but we're gonna push it down. Because this character has this facial features, she's very sharp. Yeah, no need to say, right? So here we're gonna place the nose about here, possibly at lower even. We're not gonna make here a, yeah, we could make a mirror here, but Benjamin Jackson, welcome. Hi, yes, welcome. Yeah, this we need a mirror also, so it will improve our work here. So I just need a body front, and gonna add here to, not here, influence. We're gonna get the temporary layer here that we're, for the name. Going back to, I'm your first live viewer. Yes, great. Today, yes. So here I'm making some model sheet directly in Blender with a grease pencil for 3D character modeling, rigging. The character is already modeled, right? So it's more like a character design adaptation from 2D to 3D on this kind of style, and back and forth, right? Because the character happens to already have been modeled, but I'm making these adjustments because as sculpting real stuff, right? Clay and drawing afterwards, and you go back and forth, you start to understand certain shapes better. It's very interesting. Happens with drawing and CG art as well. Like Blender is, I like Blender. This is perfect. Thanks. Yeah, Blender is like the grease pencil technique is very difficult in my experience. I don't use for animation, but I love it. I would like to use it for a project like those integrated 2D 3D. I find it's super cool, but it's super hard to use grease pencil in the Blender interface. But it's training, right? If you have I have just a old school graphic palette. That's a Wacom, so I can't complain too much, but it's a big one, but it's still, my screen resolution is not very good. So no, I forgot no, I didn't forget, I accidentally erased the eyebrow, but here I won't change this too much. So this will be a project for the future, right? Doing this 2D, 3D compositions animation, right? So there's a lot of potential, right? It's not only open source, like Blender is open field for experimentation and creative artwork. So the mouth in principle should stay here, so we won't touch this. We just want to make sure that we grab the mouth lower than that. It's not gonna work in my experience unless I drop the chin even more, but I think not. I think this is the lowest it can be for adequate results. Yeah, it can be slightly more, but that sounds adequate. So here we're gonna try to the kicks here, we continue growing this part here. The upper cheek that sort of overlaps on top of the eye, but the eye continues right behind. So I'm pushing maybe this eye is too stretched, I don't know. I've exaggerated. Here it's not like that. I see. So this is too high up, maybe. Let's do differently. So it goes down, right? This is why the nose, the cheekbone, the lower part of the eye hole and the upper cheek all were squashed down, like and that means that for proportionality, the eye also slightly went down, right? So this is what happens here. I didn't notice this detail. So the mapping, sorry, let's see the chat. What's going on? I'm changing mine now. Changing tablet, you mean? Hello, I take it. Yeah. Take it, maybe. AI, take it. So, also one of them is doing the T-pose. Hello from the 808. What is 808? Yeah, apartment. Welcome. So also one of them is doing the T-pose. What do you mean, one of them? The eye? One of the features of the facial? Of the face? Okay, but we found out that... Let's see to find this point here. Very easy. Okay, so... This one, so gonna just reduce this. It means that probably can also lower a little the eyebrow, right? Let's try to find this matching curvature here. Then we also lower these eye coins here, this thing. Let's see what looks good in the... I've drawn it here, but it could be a little lower, somewhere about... Yeah, so it'll be hard to draw this thing. Let's try this. Mothership drawing is creepy for me. It's very challenging. Okay, so here we got enough. This, curiously, for the 3D modeling, it's not unrigging. This is not a happy mouth. This is actually just as the mouth will be shaped because of the angle of the muzzle from... See, there's a curvature here, if you consider something like that, and then the mouth has this fake happy shape from this thing. Hawaii, very interesting. Didn't know that relation. Okay, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, the white drawing, not the light yellow one. Yes, this is a T-pose indeed. Yeah, it's the front view on a T-pose, and I don't have the arms here, so I'll be using this. The only reference I have to make tests here, but I haven't done it with... Oh, I can do it right now. Hold on. Inside, this is the mirror. Hold on. Okay, it's essentially the same. It's even better. It will be even better now, because I can leave the hands extended like that, because in the new shape, the new proportions, the top of the knee is a bit higher. Yeah, the whole knee is a bit higher, and so the tip of the will be closer to reach by nature spontaneously the knee. So this is more natural. It's what I wanted. In real life, depending on the person, usually the hands they start to touch, right? If you stretch a little, you can touch your knee from the side. But if not, sometimes you just... And there are some character designs are very weird. The arms are super short. The character barely touched the half of the thigh. I don't like this, but that's just character design. I mean, I don't draw... mine would be this, or even a bit more. This one, will be a little improved, because... Okay. That's doing the T-pose. Got to go. I like your vids. Thanks. Yes. Glad to have you around. See you another time. Have a nice week, Mr. Jackson. So let's continue here. Then we got this. Where's this? What do we need to do here? Yeah, we need to continue. Re-enable the mirror thing. Let's... it's not exactly a cleanup that I'm doing. I'm just trying to reevaluate some of the proportions. Okay, so here we need to reevaluate these ones. We say that the nipples went up, and this maybe it's not that down here. There was more space in between here than there is here. I need to be more careful here. Okay, let's try something here. I have already the lines, but I'm afraid that it won't just work. Yes, this indeed maybe a little upper there. Yeah. Oops, not drawing the mirror side. Okay, I think this should work. It's just that we had to reposition these lines there was incorrect. This thing is leveraged up. That's not wrong. Yeah, this is good. Okay, then we're gonna shrink a little the large the width of the chest of the torso, right? Okay, here leave as it is, so we'll focus on what matters most, that we need to be remapping the navel. Yeah, so the very interesting. So we have to okay, the crotch, this was very relevant. That navel really got a bit up too much. Okay, not get sorry, need to change some stuff here. This can be very confusing sometimes. Okay, it's like in betweening in 2D animation technique, 2D traditional animation. It's kind of crazy. Here I'm not looking properly at the masses. I'm looking too much at the lines, the strokes, and this is not helping. To I need to focus on the mass. Here you could use the stabilizer, right? Just a structural line. We're doing these blocks like this because it's just a simplification of the shapes that will resolve then later in the mesh. No, it's not good. Yeah, something about this. All right. Then, okay, this is sufficient for the knee, but this will have to find out the correct results here. Some stuff here are not working very well. I think I need to raise this tie, especially maybe here need some distance. Something. Okay, let's redo this, the crotch here. Could be that this is even higher than I thought, but let's consider this. Here maybe there's a space to reevaluate this. Very interesting that the heights here are very different. Of course, there are many ways to do this, but okay, I think this is appropriated. Let's make some tests here with there's some weird thing from this. In the front view, right? Here I just need to test again, just to make sure. Shift Alt. Yeah, no, this will not be a problem for the sheen, most likely. Maybe slightly a problem. This is confusing me. Let's turn this off again. Yeah, no, this sounds that should work. If not, there's just a small fixing. Not satisfied with the length of the thigh here in this this works very well for the sketch, but for the front view something seems very, very wrong. I think really maybe it's a wrong assessment of the height of the. It seems slightly squashed, yeah. So I think on the torso. So maybe we got some in-betweening, right? So instead of one down, we're gonna get maybe here, exactly in the line. Maybe that should work. If you see what we have in the model, in the real body, it is one below, sort of. Yeah, as the... So it's not too much difference. But it is... It makes a lot of difference for the proportion. So if I step this up like as I was trying to do here, then you have a slightly squashed thing and a highly amplified. So maybe the solution would be to find the square that is... Even this line is not well positioned. So you could try it slightly above instead of here. Yeah, so like there's 3. We're gonna do this because then we understand what's going on. We're trying to do the mapping here. We'll have to reconsider some details here. Let's hide this because it's... At this point this is confusing me. Just confusion. There's 2 elevated navel. I see. Yeah, this is incorrect. So probably somewhere like here should be... the belly region, the iliac crest, bony shape, yeah, something is not very good about this shape still, but yeah, at least in general, at least the height, it's more about the some shapes here that maybe this yeah, here a bit confused with what's going on, but is there something like this in the character design? I need to revise. And then we need to investigate. Let's compare. Leverage the knee a little more. Because we've raised the... No, actually, I've pushed down, so maybe the knee should stay here. Yeah, then the thigh seems to be more adequate now. Let's make some calculation again, and with the... or just use the C tool. Under the knee, let's see. Here. Yeah, okay, so it reached like slightly in the middle, but right above the buttocks. I think this could be correct for the worst case scenario here. The solution would be to reduce the size of the legs. Possibly. But I think this will work. I believe this is a better approximation of the character design that I want in the 3D adaptation than this one. Yeah, so... and we are making some small tests for the face, squashing some features. We're gonna try that, right? So, though I can make some annotations here. Yeah, essentially lots of features. Went down, squashed muzzle. What else? The upper cheek and the cheekbone. Yeah. Just inverted. All right, so we don't need this for the side view, although that will be productive for the investigations, but it's not the time now. Now I'm eager to do something different. Yeah, to start reshaping the model, right, with those new adjustments. And yeah, so there's a lot of work to do. We have to Okay, so I have to rework the all these costumes. Yeah, so you're gonna do that. Same old technique. Horrible thing to do, but yeah, but we need that. So you're gonna... Although you could do the cloth adaptation later, right? Because this is so annoying. Yeah, it's so annoying that I'm gonna do this later. The clothes are very needing of retakes anyways. Even... Okay, so this is the good stuff. We need to be looking at the grease pencil. I want the grease pencil to be more visible here. So I need the... to find some way to view it properly. Maybe this one, yeah. All right, there's a... now all we need here. As long as we do not confuse them, which can be very easy. I'm gonna use the new one, yeah. Okay, the new one is the brighter. There will already be adjustments to do for the darker one, the old one. So here is just the typical proportional posing. See that some shapes here in this different organization. Yeah, we can change a little this the way this thing is organized, the way these things flow. Yeah, there are more important things to consider here that... Okay, let's try this one. The arms won't change too much here, so we're fine, but this actually we need some reassessment just to be sure. Something about raising. Yeah, I remember. So something about slightly raising the arm. So now I'm planning to go back to the scenery making, possibly tomorrow already. So I'm gonna try to integrate the characters, and then we'll finally be going back in the direction of the 3D web comics building, making. So apparently the naval structure, yeah, it will be about here, okay. Let's fix the crotch, yes, so the here are too much lines, so we need to figure out what is the right one. Here, this is much better. So there is what you need to adjust. It's the grid, right? So it's this line here. Just an approximation is good because snapping these perfectly, it's like takes a lot of time. It's useless unless you need this for some calculation. It's precise or exact calculation. It's just a waste of time to. I just do this for this vertex. So far I remember. I want it exactly at the top of the head, and that's it. And probably that we can't, like we can do it in bone. Shift W can lock the bone in edit mode, right? Not in pose mode only. You can lock the bone local coordinates. You cannot manipulate it on edit mode anymore until you toggle the lock. Shift W, there's something about it. And but it doesn't work for verts for mesh data. So that will be a big improvement if they could ever make locked vertices. That will be so good to be able to. Then you don't need to hide the vertices. Because of course if you hide the verts you can't see them anymore, so it's useless. It can work, yeah, we can use this technique, but it's like it's not very thrilling. It the drawbacks are too much, because then you don't see what you're doing. Okay, so now the knees, we see that first we'll need to expand this, the front of the knees here. So this is actually the reference that we're gonna work from. I just need to scale about here. Yeah, this sounds good. Maybe a little more. And so here this scale a little on the side. Yeah. Okay, so this sounds a good one. Here, of course, this is because of the, yeah, the armature modifier. And because here I'm also using subdivision surface, we don't see it right now, so it can be confusing. This is skinning artifacts. Because the bones are, the armature is some stretch to bone constraint that are displaced. We can fix this at any moment. But for now I need to first fix this Oh yeah, the feet, exactly. We need to push this down. And maybe this. A bit of exaggeration. We're gonna bring this thing up. Good. So, this is not so good, right? Don't know what this is for later. Fixing these shapes. Um, okay, edit mode is what matters. And this terrible stuff that are happening here. We're gonna fix that quickly in one round. The silhouette here, yeah, certainly lots of things. Here we'll have to, yeah, we'll need to make a side view check in order to be able to make the right adaptations. But essentially, okay, the face, right? That's very critical. Here I need a backup. I'm gonna save copy in a... You're not seeing here, but I'm using a... Saving another folder, so this is before face squashing. Carters and grease pencil. Okay. Backup. Iteration 24. Okay, so let's disable the armature modifiers. And there's some hidden mesh here. Let's make this thing slightly, the skull here slightly rounder. Yeah, this is things will be better if I was using multiple views here. Okay, so this thing will be very There are many facial features here that will suffer from these readjustments. Let's try to okay, we're not gonna change the lips. Yeah, I can move all together. Squashing. Too much there, right? Good, good, good. So I'm curious to see how she will look like. Maybe the results will be very good. And here you see this thing will cause a lot of problems that we'll have to manually fix in this rig, but that's fine. It's for the ultimate character design research. Basically, I just have to re-snap this to an eye surface. Oh yeah, there's something about the yeah, these eyelash things that will be tricky. No time to panic about what will go broke here, what will break, but we could just pick these eyelashes on their own materials, on seams. We can also pick just had an idea. Yeah. This could be a shape key. Yeah, who knows? Not sure if that will be easier or harder. But okay, we got these eyelids. We're gonna snap everything on top of the gonna snap this. I'm not sure this is correct. Actually, we need to keep investigating. Yeah, a bit. Well, we can snap this already. Let's. We can use this one in this case. There we go. This will make this mesh to snap. No, it won't. Unsure of the behavior, so I'm gonna just the snapping we can adjust later, so we need to adjust these positionings here. This we need to approximate here. Interesting. Indeed, we can use this face loop to match this curvature then, maybe. All this move down. Need more vision on the grease pencil. Yes, yes. Curvature seems to be following up correctly. Not bad, not bad. It's a bit blurry. So what can I do here? Maybe try to get this a little lower. Not that much, but yeah, see, there's this line here, then it maybe follows the upper cheek. Yeah, we can try something like this. There. And then we leverage the upper cheek here. Incredible. This doesn't necessarily requires a lot of mesh geometry to do, so even here maybe I have an overdoing of that, and this might be a little bad. This shape is usually kind of hard to get in this, in the low poly, in the way I work with this. See, it's puffy, but it's very easy to break the character design with this shape here. Because say is this, it's like I need to have a stair here around the eye hole, and then immediately this starts to puff out. We can maybe GG this inside, smooth. Now we bring back this and resnap, yeah, without this, without proportional editing. There we go. Front view snapping, just to make sure, and that seems right. Then we get this take off, snapping, take off, proportional editing, and let's try to make some good manipulations here for the orbicularis oculi region. So you want to create the eye cavity here. The side here is not very nice currently. I need to push this a bit more. Not using proportional editing because I'll have to hide that snapped mesh there. It cannot it's easy doable, right? Okay, now we start to have good stuff. See that the texture, something horrible about the This is some shrink wrapping artifact, I guess. No, just some subdivision that is failing to work. Oh no, it's just this muzzle thing that we need to revise. Alright. Okay, so this is the squashed muzzle. Yeah. Not sure it's... Doesn't seem like terrible. I'd like to see with the other elements. Yeah, I think it's doable. It's not like she has lost the personality, but something odd still. The silhouette is not bad at all, though. It's very. It's like centimeters of difference, millimeters even, and sounds to be good. Of course, I'd like to see how the eyes will look, but oh yeah, it's sort of working. Some stuff to be fixed on the. Yes, I think this is more accurate to 2D. Very interesting. Okay, so this was a very good progress. The rig of the eyes is completely broken here. She got that sharpness of the typical 2D character design, so this is very important. And I did all that without changing any anatomic lips. I did this without changing any mesh topology. This is EV, by the way. Okay, no, not all costumes. Okay, this one is... okay, they have... This one, Space Agent, okay, but not the case. Urban, okay. So I have a lot of stuff to work in here. But this turns out to be quite favorable. Sure, there are a lot of things to fix here. As of yet, yeah, millimetrical stuff that I'll try to avoid showcasing this on my streams from now on. Very hard, easy to say, hard to do, but we're gonna try to push. I think I know how I'm gonna achieve that. Yeah, a triangle there, yes. I'm gonna try to achieve that by just streaming other types of content. But this is very satisfying. Indeed, there is it was possible to squash, even to lower the nose, which is very tough because some facial features start to get very bad in my past section. But this time, with all these compensations, this ended up being successful. I thought that I was in almost in the limit of squashing the something very weird happens. You start to squash too much in the drawings. You may squash on the I may squash too much on the front view, then on the side view with the too squashed muzzle vertically, then the nose and the chin and the mouth, all this, we can't draw this anymore. Or then the curvature here needs to be something like crazy, and it's just stop the, it sort of breaks the character design. And but there was, this threshold was still plausible, and I didn't know I could do that on this character design, which is favorable. It also suggests that we can do even a bit more of that squashing of the muzzle for other character designs, which might be even sharper than hers, or skinnier, or different, right? More squashier, yeah. Yeah, so you see the shape of the upper cheek starts overlapping on some angles. This is what should happen. It's very hard to get the right shapes for depending for the cute look of certain character designs, right? Like this one. And here I don't know what I need to do with this to perfect, but I think just follow the flow, right? And this is just some disruption because of the waves. I thought I would be adjusting the waves today, but I think this is already a lot of work. And see, this is pure EV. My rigging, no, not my rigging, my processing here of the compositor is much more advanced than pure EV. It's dual compositing. It will be much better than that. So let's try something here. Even with this broken rig, we can do something. I'm gonna save. So this was successful. I don't need to go back into the backup. So what we're gonna try to do is that probably nothing here will work. Yeah, okay, there's a lot of things are broken. Simplify. Okay, let's open some big scene here. Dorothy launch sequence. Yes. So we're gonna get satellite space station. No, we're gonna get Dorothy launch. Yeah. Apparently we lost some assets, but here it is. Yes, we got. Yeah, we've lost some glasses materials. We need to recover them. This is a new... I've not configured this scene for this particular Blender version. Blender 4.5.3 now. Last time I was at 4.4, I think I was in Blender. 4.3 maybe. And so now I don't know how the results... Now we have exposure in the light objects. Is so cool. We need to bring Dorothy and see. It will help us figuring out what if that she's still not here, right? Already here. Okay, maybe bring her separatedly here. Ah, she is here. Okay, but she is here where? She doesn't seem to be anywhere. Okay, I'm gonna clean this. So I'm gonna bring her from the... Why there are two of them? Okay, this is just another test of the solve face. Shouldn't even be here, but yeah, okay. So bring this one. We're gonna... what's that? Why she's... Okay, I think I've just... Okay, she's here. We're gonna... Library make selected and content. Then apparently we need to do... Oh no, already posable? Yes. Okay, good. So this is just sufficient. Yeah, so a lot of things are messed up here. You need to... I don't know why these weren't hidden, but sometimes it happens. You need to reconfigure the original file. And let's see how this will render in this version of Blender. All the light objects, let's check one of them. Let's check one light object. It has not yet been configured for this. Yes, it's probably everything. Here would be some old default settings for this and this. And now we could play this way more advanced. It will be much easier to achieve certain, possibly more confusing, but also we don't need anymore to be using, although we can still use, right, the render engine in EV. Where's this? Okay, no, not this. Where is the color matters? Okay, yeah, don't need this crappy thing here. We can still use, but not sure what will happen here. This is dual compositing EV and Workbench. Already the results are very different than what I had before. Yeah, of course, worse in the sense of lot of bad artifacts, right? Colors and materials broken, but something like, seems like there's some more depth into the color mix. It's very weird what's happening, but it's intriguing. It sounds a bit more realistic in some sense, but it's just probably that I need to be fixing. Oh, look at this. So yeah, probably now I don't want these settings anymore. We can fix them from the light objects directly. Yeah, the result is essentially the same. So there are many things we can bring up to the scene here now. That will be very thrilling to rework on those things. Let's see if the other scene has anything. Yeah, we have two Dorothys here. Yeah, let's remake this thing, right? From scratch. Linked copy. Workbench, yeah, WB, right? And then here we need to bring here. Let's make sure we have transparency, film. Yes. And workbench, yes, of course. Why I'm using I was using flat though. Could it be that I lost some? No, these are here. Okay. This is something, of course, this is the compositor. Let's get the here and delete everything from here. We need to bring back here. And I think it's just this. Let's see. Yeah, save it here because who cares? It's gonna rework this anyways. And this is also this is an LTS version. Okay, so we have some interesting result, but now we can start doing some stuff here. Yeah, big stuff. Need to. There's some switches. Let's see. Some things here got different. Got a bit disrupted. Okay, this is the. We could make black and whites from here if we wanted. Actually, I have set up for this. I just need to find it. Remember how this was done? Yeah, it is here. Grayscale, right? Oh yeah, so we have a grayscale system here. It will be too hard to... Oh yes, I can implement my idea, new ideas here to this. Okay, but this is the list drilling. I'm using this usually to mix some effects, right? So it's not like we need this right now. So if we mix this, then we can Just checking the crazy results that we can have in the current disrupted state of these things. Okay, enough. See of this. Let's return to the base stuff. Anything else to mix here? Where's the... Okay, this is the dual... Ah, this is what this matters. So here we have some different ways to mix. Okay, very interesting. Add... Here's some other options of the workbench. So let's see. This is not pure workbench, of course. This is workbench with already a mix of the... It'll be very hard to see here. A mix of the value of the... I just can probably get rid of this. Not sure. Fake procedural texture. Oh yeah, I remember right now what this does. Alright, so that we can have procedural texture mixed by value into the workbench with a... So this is a workbench but already contaminated with EV. If we don't have this, then this is workbench. So I'm getting... We can try other things here at this point, but this is the ambient occlusion pass. Generic. I don't remember this one. I have to revise stuff. Here are some options switching for... I like this one. Just for a variation. After some more tests, not working directly on this one, but other approaches on compositing, I have some new ideas that maybe can be implemented. Okay, and what is this? Simplest composites. Okay, so here is where you can get... Oh, I see, I see, I see. We can decide to use the simplest options here. This is a very strong workbench. Favors workbench. We can, of course... Let's check this mix, Control C. Don't see anything going on here. This seems broken or what? Doesn't seem to do much. Switch pure EV or dual. Okay, this is pure EV and this is dual. All right. This coming from workbench, right? No? Yes, it is coming from workbench. A bit hard to spot it. Yeah, I see, it's very different, right? Here's some artifacts there in the shade we can just fix by working more on the rig, right? Yeah, this is nice to have something like this kind of effect. And very smooth, like not too shiny, and we could work a lot on top of this, right? So if I get, for example, this, and let's apply some effects here, we end up having, what is this? What are those set alpha? Well, doesn't make sense to me. Then what is this big environmental effects, right? Just a big block. Then we get, for example, let's try to this will work best if we mix with this kind of tedious thing. But this is not a mix, it's a choice. No, it's yeah, it is over, it's not mixing. This will be for this effect indeed. Yeah. Yeah, so all this needs to be reworked with some lights and lots of things. But I have new ideas, so it's cool to be spending some time in this. Lots of ideas here. Yeah, so this is the dual composite. This is more favorable to EV, and we can have very oops, okay, so first crash with with this file. Sorry, I haven't saved. Let's reopen it, and no, I saved. Okay, so we have already updated, and so I don't have to fix any things here. There's some space stuff here, but this will work best if we get this. I got this from the see, yeah, it's a HDRI image from Blender Kit, the free. It's a free. You get this asset for free in the Blender Kit add-on, and you can use it for space. Like, wait, what happened to my space? Here, it's called yeah, deep dark space with stars, and then this is enough for have this kind of visualization. It's very low wave, so it's not heavy. The glasses broke. We can batch this. I think I changed the names maybe. What is the name of this material? Material glass out. Okay, so you have out space. There we go. This same one. Here too. I'd like to batch this, but I don't know when the link breaks. What about these ones? Oh, it's a material. Okay, I have this. No, this is a world setup, node setup. This is just a material. It's a screen type. Okay, it's probably. Where did this? Ah, here. No, this is a geometry nodes thing. Yeah, I have to figure out where this file has gone. There are two. These are videos. No, let's. Can we access them? What the hell is this? This one also seems to have lost. But this one, I think I have it here. Also not. So I have to be looking for this stuff. Yeah. So, Steam things to be doing on the. I'm playing with the very low. There's some animation here for this, but it doesn't seem to be shining. There's no chance here. Yeah, whatever. No, nothing's happening here. Alright, so it will be the new things to be addressing. Light objects and remaking, readdressing the scenes to continue the story from where it stopped. One of the last assets I've made were these bottles. Where's the... and some cups. They... everything got somewhat displaced. A few things got messed up. Okay, so We got a lot of work to do, but this will be good progress. Let's check another scene here that what might have broken. Space highway to Plankton. There's yeah, so we can have the camera here and at some. It's quite fast. The performance today, I don't know why this thing is. I think the curve got a bit away from the. Let's try to follow up that. The performance improved a lot. I don't know how they did it, but okay, let's return to the beginning, right? Are the characters here? I think they are not. Yeah, they vanished. They are unlinked. So these trees are from the sapling tree, and I've made some automation for them to appear. This is a bit time consuming, but very funny to do this kind of stuff. They follow the curve and they replicate on different patterns of array. Yeah, I have some. I did all this in stream a few months ago. You can find it. This and then we can get this. I'm not sure I'm gonna work in this. It's too big and too complex to be driving my attention right now. But the Dorothy Lounge, the first scene that I was opening, happens in this corridor. It's like a training ground. It will be somewhere, place like here. It's how I've. And then there is some gigantic structures there. Like here's a greenhouse, I think would be at this portion here. As the less developed, although everything is to be developed here. Besides, then, yeah, and then we have some. I have some drawings, I think, some annotations. Are they here? No, there doesn't seem to have anything. Okay, so then also here there are probably some parts here I can start building, but it will be for later. And then modular. Okay, so this is just the dark corridors, but the file where originates then. So this means now that I can totally bring up the cozy shuttle. Okay, this is the. I think I'm gonna integrate this into the. I'm gonna try to integrate this one in the. That's a space station. It doesn't turn out to be as I wanted. This was for a special way of compositing that I'm not gonna be researching for anymore for now. Mainly because it employs a lot of reworking of of what I already was doing, so it's not gonna be very smart move in the end. Yeah, so you see that compositor here is some results here could be interesting, but in the end I decide not to. Oh, looks like we lost some link here. Big link of greenhouse here. Yeah, it is linked, but it doesn't seem to have updated. Strange. Okay, this is irrelevant now. The thing that I want to be building here in this gigantic setting will be this area here. We're gonna make the room for the captain or office of the captain. Where's... wait. So should it be here or there? Oh yeah, I think it can be in the front part. Yeah, maybe it's better. So I was thinking for some reason about in the middle part, maybe like here, but I think I'm gonna let's ignore these nodes here. Go straight for a bit laggy for some reason. Too many glasses maybe. Okay, and then on top here there's an open area here. I'm not still working, but it'll be populated with some assets are missing here. This... what's happening to the materials here? Yeah, lots of... yeah, this is a big lounge of diplomatic things, and here we have a deck, a higher deck. Well, it's too much lag. This wasn't lagging like that, so it's probably something about the compositor. We can... okay, then here we reach from the distance. It will be something like this. There's an external hull of the spaceship, the starship. And I said I'm trying to do this very cartoony in several ways. It's not to be realistic, right? And okay, so we need to place to decide where this place will be. Yeah, we can array many doors here and many holes, but let's decide at least I'm trying to spell a magic number here, but let's get this one. So this place will be the... yeah, I think the glasses are what's driving this. There might be some option here that is making this going yeah, this is helping, but not too much. Oh yeah, because these are the setups for the black and white, yes, and grayscale. So there are a lot of things I'll have to. We don't want to just basic samples here. Oh yeah, this done. Okay, shadows, shadows, shadows. Yeah, so shadows are. Okay, we reduce the resolution. We can have shadows, but with a very limited. Okay, now this is nice. Good. We're gonna save in this spot because this will be good reference. Maybe we can bring something here. I need to see where this array goes. It's not the greenhouse, it's the stairway block. An empty object with some. So we'll need to edit this. We'll probably have to branch it into different ones because otherwise it's absolutely repetitive. And you need to populate this thing with some other assets, plants, vases with plants, and some tables. Yeah, some things like this to make the office. And we need also the scale for some people. So this can be achieved with the dummies. We can just this one, for example, we can, I don't know where it is, doesn't matter. Gonna Alt D. This is not any kind of Alt D. This is an Alt D from a linked asset, which has a linked override. So that means that this will always be identified as. Okay, looks like we have some problem with the dummies as well. Lot of things to rework here after. Probably I've changed some name of folder at some time accidentally and not expecting that will break so many things. That this is the scenery. There's probably an asset here. Characters, is it here? No, dummy props here. Okay, so strangely it doesn't seem to mention anything that you can. Maybe it's time to reset this. No, never use this, so we could try to bring this one here, but you say this is what happens. Okay, screw that. We can. I know how to do it with materials, but I don't know how to do with these ones. It also doesn't indicate that its path is broken or something like that. But yeah, the asset. What is this? Resync and resync and force. Impossible to resync data block dummy and its dependency. Install link references. Okay, so these dummies are like I think there's an operator here, right? manually find the oh no, where's this thing now? Would it be in furnitures? Possibly it can be in furnitures. No, I don't know how to use this. Anyways, what we can do is still, in this case, bring this one. Library of Right, make selected, I think. Get this one. Bring it here. Okay, I don't know why this thing. Move it to this. Okay, parent it to stairways, so to keep transform. Move this dummy to here. There we go. And we can, yeah. This one we don't need to edit, don't need pose mode like a rigged model with armature objects. So this we can just get it here. Exactly. So it was actually in the furniture, exactly the file that but I couldn't manage to find the solution. There's another operator. Find missing, yeah, report missing files. Yeah, whatever. That doesn't help. So we got this one here. What is this? Is not the place that I wanted, right? I have to re-find. Some spot of interest, maybe. Yeah, this room here. There we go. So this is the size of the corridor. You see it's not actually that small. So this fits very, there's enough space here for many desks actually. This is a bit, even a bit too large, right? So we can make many rooms here, it's crazy. And yeah, unfortunately this is not for me to work today because I need to design get some research. So the idea here is, and also ideally to have the Cora, which is the name of that character, the captain, works in this office actually, from this office, but she's often not there, right? This will be populated by this race or species of so-called space gnomes, the actual Psychomotaki chiplankton. These are the alien species of this, where the cast of heroes or heroines are from, and this is a intragalactic at least starship. So there's other alien species here that are like cute creatures, like I don't know, all kinds of stuff, but cartoony stuff usually, not even I have a friend that does 3D art that created some also an alien species. He called them some sort of humanoid, right? Maybe I still have to ask him, hey, can you borrow me these aliens so I can so I can use them to populate also this universe, this starship, right? They would be working sync, and there'll be many others. But this takes, characters that probably at some point I'll need help from other artists, but I don't have right now the resources to do this. But that will be very great if at some point I can get this to work. So now, if I may, these things needs urgent retakes, but the planning is going well. I return to the rigged model here. So here is where we need to complete this functional rig, and unfortunately, no, I'm not gonna do wave paint now. It's too late. I need to stop. Thanks for watching, folks, and take care. Happy blendering. So we're gonna continue and gonna bring new topics here and very soon on this week. Still, have a nice week and happy blendering.